Hey YouTube, it's Chuck. Well, we're back. The observation hive has swarmed. I've been kind of documenting this along the spring, and it swarmed with a clipped queen, and then it reswarmed and it reswarmed. So I never found the clipped queen on the ground, but ultimately what ended up happening, and let me show you over here on the first side, these queen cells up here hatched. And I have marked that the hatch date was on March 25th. Based on the queen math, she should have been mating around the 30th and should have started laying on the 3rd. I started looking very closely for the queen, and I occasionally saw her, but yesterday after I got back from work last week, I found the queen has started laying eggs. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get a close enough shot for you to see eggs, but what you should notice in this hive is the way that the workers are starting to cluster in certain spots. Look at this cluster, and look how they're ignoring this. Look at this cluster, and look how they're ignoring this. This is a telltale sign of the nurse bees starting to manage brood and a laying queen. And I think that that is a very interesting point. And the other thing, and here's a nice tight cluster over here with nothing here, and a nice cluster here and nothing up here. So these clusters are the worker bees using their heat, feeding eggs, and going to be creating larvae. So what we're going to see over the next few days to getting to the capped point, more than likely we're going to start seeing capped brood in the areas here that I've already highlighted where they're clustering. Now, the other important thing, and this is a little bit more seasonal for those of you that watch in my local area here in Jacksonville, Florida, or anywhere in Zone 9A on the East Coast, which is the zone that I am in. And if you notice the glistening in the inside of these cells here and up top, this is backfilling nectar. That is the beginning of the flow. When they start filling up cells that is not coming from a feeder, this is the beginning of a flow. So I put my supers on my production hives on April 1st. And that is when I started sensing that the flow was coming in. Now, I also have a second indicator, and I'm not sure, maybe I'll be able to get some clips of it here in snapshots. I use the Broodminder system, and I have 4 hive scales on some of my production hives. I manage and monitor brood temperature and hive weight every minute. And what you do see starting on or about when I put those supers on April 1st, instead of the hive losing weight as they didn't have enough natural nectar, the hive is starting to increase in weight. Now, it's not going exponential yet, but it is increasing, which aligns with the backfilling of nectar here in the observation hive. So I think in this area, it's time to put supers on, maybe only put 1 just to kind of get them going and make sure they have room to put the nectar. But the important part is that it is time to put supers on. Now, here's the treat. There's my queen. And look, her butt just got put down in that cell and she's laying. Hopefully I can zoom this in enough and you can see it. This is my new queen. She is unmarked because I have not opened the hive yet. And she is laying eggs in the center of this cluster. And here she comes out. You getting ready to see her come out? She sticks her head down, looks for another cell, probably another 5 or 6 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and erase this for you. She's going to stick her butt in another cell. I should call it her abdomen, the correct term, as she starts laying out. She is a nice looking queen. She's got a little bit of a dark tip of her abdomen, and there she's laying again. I can see it from the side, but it's behind a little bit of this wax. So she's laying, and that was about 5 or 6 seconds in between cells. She did walk a little bit further away, but to the point, I have a laying queen after the swarm that came from the swarm cells that we were watching a few weeks ago. And the hive, the observation hive, continues on in a new cycle. Now that I do know I have a laying queen, I'm going to let her lay probably a little bit until there's some capped brood in here. And then I'll be taking the observation hive down, and I'll take it outside, and I'll put this on video, and I'll eventually pull that queen out, and I'll mark her and then put her back in. But at the same time, take the opportunity to do a little bit of hive maintenance on the observation hive. So I thought I'd send that update to you. The observation hive has recycled and should start building back up. The nectar is flowing here in Zone 9A in Jacksonville. Get your supers on, at least one. And hope you enjoy this type of content. Have a great day.